big awakening to go out to a 911 call and to meet someone either at their home or at bedside in the hospital or on the side of the road, depending on how, the situation, and, running into someone who just had Narcan and, they were dead an hour ago and someone revived them. So it's a whole different thing. And there's so much that you learn. The only way to learn is right there on the court. I'm an entrepreneur. I want to help entrepreneurs in recovery. So that was my first thinking. But then I got into advocacy. And what was good is in my training in the past, I dealt with lawyers and doctors and regulatory people. So I really wasn't fazed when put in front of people in those situations because I was just used to that already. I spoke in front of budget committees and really helped them have some aha moments during some big change in New Jersey when Governor Christie signed a lot of the bills into laws. I was home one day and Melissa called me. Unbeknownst to me, she said she was working with the Burlington County Prosecutor's Office. I think the time I had seen her before that, no one would hire her as a person in recovery looking for a job in a prosecutor's office. She said that they had a grant and that they were looking for a project manager. And so I was very interested. What we do is provide a peer recovery specialist to 911 calls. We have first responders as peer recovery specialists. A 911 call comes in. If an officer deems it appropriate, they dial our hotline, and we have a peer recovery specialist on call 24/7. It didn't immediately start that way, but that's where we are now. Eventually, last July, I got myself trained for peer recovery specialist. I was leading for a while, and then when I went out myself, it was a big awakening. We work in a county, and our operation is led by the prosecutor of the county. He hired Melissa. I give him a lot of credit to put someone in charge that's in recovery and that is also an attorney and a prosecutor. It's just brilliant. And so Burlington County turns out is the largest county in the state. It's like 820 square miles. So it's humongous. There's 42 municipalities. There's about 450,000 people there. So we're working with the 42 municipalities to try and, to have them call us. So someone who overdosed or has any type of issue with substance abuse or substance use, we want them to call us. And then we get a recovery coach to come out. The recovery coach responds. We give them 6 weeks of recovery coaching. We have a lot of data to capture once they agree to work with us. And then if they're looking for placement into treatment, we place them into treatment. In the middle is all those police departments who decide to call us. We've done training for EMS, 5 minutes to help. Sometimes EMS, we've learned they have compassion fatigue, as it's called, and we're dealing with the same people over and over. So there's been training set up for that to help them, and in that training, I think, I got to sit in when Melissa was doing it with another assistant prosecutor, and we had one person bringing up data that sometimes the officer turns out to be the only person who talks to the person who has this incident. And so what'll happen is they'll have an incident, they'll get Narcan, the EMS comes, and they put him in the bus, and he's, the officer's in, and I bang on the bus as they go, and they think I did my job. And he says, but then I learned later, they got to the hospital, and they ran. And they decided they don't want to be at the hospital. So it turned out that the officer was the only person who talked to him. And so they want to take that time to let them know what's available and try and get them a coach and try and get them to hold on till a coach can show up. Because when a peer recovery coach shows up, it's a whole different story. So many times it's like, thank God that they have a coach because they have to hang on for 3 days. How do you hang on for 3 days? It's not like they're going to stop doing fentanyl for 3 days. It doesn't work that way. So it's a big challenge. I think a lot of the law enforcement realized, and, we sat down with a few judges and, the judges, they know, that putting someone in jail, they've been doing it for 26 years, 30 years. They know who's showing back up and that isn't solving the problem.